Hunter Hoffman, back with another insane video! So as you could have seen by the title of the video, I now own the car for 1 year. So I thought it would be fun to do a 1-year ownership of the M2. See what I did there, 1-2? Really clever, really funny. Since the car was registered to my name on the 30th day of September 2020, I've done about 5,000 miles with the car, totaling up to around 10,000 miles. Having said that, let's get into it!
So a cold start should normally be quite fun, right? But with the M-Performance exhaust fitted to my car, it really isn't. Let me demonstrate why and start up the car. So listen to this. Can you hear this? For some reason, the M-Performance exhaust heavily vibrates for about 10 to 15 seconds during a cold start. And it produces this vibrating noise, as you can hear. You can even see it and hear it on the outside. Unfortunately, there's another issue with the exhaust, or actually there was one. When I got the car and wanted to use the remote to open or close the valves of the exhaust, I had to press a certain red button. This red button, however, was located in the trunk of the car. So, I had to get in the car, turn on the ignition, get out of the car, open the trunk, press the red button, close the trunk again, get back in the car again, and only then I was able to use the remote to open up the valves of the exhaust. Luckily, however, I managed to find a way to bypass this, and I can now use the remote at all times. Check it out. So do I dislike my M-Performance exhaust? Absolutely not. Besides the fact that it looks amazing, it sounds amazing. Take a listen to this. This is still one of the best aspects of the M2, the sound of the single turbo straight 6. It's magic. Check that out too. So how does it drive? Quite good, as you can imagine. After all, it's a rear-wheel driven BMW M car with an engine in the front paired to a DCT gearbox. An almost perfect recipe for a fun car, in my opinion. Having said that, I have driven the F82 M4, and in regards of handling, you can definitely tell that it's a bit of a larger car. Although the M4 is faster, the M2 hits the sweet spot for me. Partly because of its smaller wheelbase, it's more nimble. You see, bigger isn't always better. I keep telling them this. Another thing I love about my M2 is the optional sunroof. Especially during the summertime, it's fun to hear the sound of the car a bit better, and it therefore provides for a bit of a more engaging driving experience. It's also good for my tan, as my skin tans very easily. So when I got the car, active sound design was still enabled. I simply wasn't a fan of artificial engine noise being pumped through the speakers, hence why I disabled this by installing a special cable harness. All I hear in the cabin now is genuine engine noise. So another thing I noticed is that the tires wear out pretty quickly, especially the rears. I suppose it has a lot to do with the way you're driving, the compound of the tire, and the tire pressure you're running. However, I treat my tires relatively gently, I think. To add, and although I'm nitpicking, my car is equipped with Continental tires, and I think they're not so good, and I think they look a bit skinny. The Michelins do look a bit more beefy to me. I'll definitely be getting Michelins when these tires are done. So a thing a lot of M2 owners upgrade is the intercooler. The intercooler BMW installed is relatively small, and the car can suffer from heat soaking when really pushing it. It then kind of feels like the car has asthma. Of course I fixed that as well, and I'm now running a CSF intercooler which does the job really well. So a few more things I dislike about the M2 is the fact that it has a very small fuel tank of only 52 liters, it has horrible fuel consumption, and a very limited amount of options and colors to choose from. Having said that, I couldn't care less about the fuel consumption of the M2 because no one, including me, buys an M2 for its fuel consumption. It would have been nice to have a bit more options for the M2 though, like M3 or M4 seats, adaptive suspension, a leather-wrapped dashboard, a head-up display. I think besides performance, BMW M car should also provide for a bit of luxury. I believe for the new M2 it's possible to spec it in individual colors as opposed to the 4 colors this car was available in. So what about issues and reliability? Although having driven only 5,000 miles, I have never had a code or an issue. Perfect reliability so far. The only thing wrong is there's a certain clicking noise at the front of the suspension, but I'll be looking into that later. Oh, and one more thing, the car doesn't have parking sensors in the front. For a car of almost 100,000 euros new, it's quite something. Luckily, however, I'm very skilled at parking, and I most certainly do not need them. Alright guys, that was it. The most important thing of all is that the car brings a smile to my face, and I think that's what a good car is supposed to do. Guys, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed that, and see you next time.